Hey, what's up guys, Benny here, and finally, after a few weeks of waiting, Apex Legends Season 3 is finally here. It's also, without a doubt, the biggest update to Apex Legends since the game first came out, and I was lucky enough to be flown out by EA to get some early hands-on with the update with some of the Apex Legends community, which was incredibly exciting, and I truly believe that as Apex fans, we've got a lot to look forward to this season. So in this video, we're going to go through all the major updates to Apex Legends Season 3. So by the end, you'll know everything that you need to know for the start of Season 3 and can hopefully use it to help you get a load of wins. First things first, and probably one of the biggest updates, is that for the start of Apex Legends Season 3 at least, is that Kings Canyon is gone. You won't be able to play the map at the start of the season, though it will return in the future, but it's been replaced by a brand new map, World's End. Now, from my early hands-on with the map, I could instantly tell it's a little bit bigger than Kings Canyon. You've got much longer lines of sight, so if you're one of those players that love using long-range weapons like the longbow or G7 Scout, you're going to love this map. And you might have also noticed from the gameplay, it's a much more colorful map with a blend of fire and ice and large green areas, with lava that can damage you in certain locations that you can potentially use to your advantage in certain gunfights, and things like this geyser that you can use to redeploy to get away from enemies, which, believe me, can be life-saving, as unlike a balloon, you're not an easy target for enemies to take you down. Plus, you also get launched into the air pretty damn quickly. Another thing that I really liked about the new World's End map is that you have these more urban locations for city-based fighting, a little like we had with Skull Town, but with multiple multi-tier buildings to fight in and between. Legends like Bloodhound and Caustic, I feel, are going to be really effective in these areas, as their abilities are perfect for either finding enemies hiding inside a building or setting up a strong defensive position. And thinking about it, if you wanted to set up a strong defensive position, Watson would also be perfect for these locations. Also, rather than having the supply ship like we've had ever since the launch of Apex Legends, you've now actually got this moving train, which is actually pretty difficult to fight on, as your aim can be thrown off pretty easily, though just like the supply ship, it can be worth landing on it for some early loot, but you can guarantee yourself some kind of fight. But you know what? What's Apex Legends without a little bit of danger? That level 3 armor will totally be worth it, especially when you leave with a load of kills after you've destroyed the enemy. Hopefully. The World's End map in Apex Legends Season 3 is definitely a lot more varied in terms of the different locations compared to Kings Canyon, and it's going to offer us a completely different challenge in the way that we approach gunfights, with choke points through caves and mountains, with much wider open area terrain, which you'll definitely want to be using single shot weapons like the G7 Scout or Longbow, or even the single fire options on guns like the Hemlock, R301 and Flatline when you need to. But I'm personally a big fan of the map. It definitely freshens things up and gives us a load of new areas to explore and things to figure out, including the loot vaults, which were teased during the trailer. Now, for those of you that don't know what a loot vault is, it's a brand new addition to Apex Legends Season 3, and it's a room that you can open with a vault key that will contain a load of amazing loot, usually filled with legendaries and epics, enough to kit out an entire squad. The vaults are hidden around the map and are not marked, so as a community we'll have to work together to find them all, which I think will happen pretty quickly, but so far I've managed to find two. One in this cave by Geyser, and then also one in this small pathway near the center of the map. Sadly, during our playthrough, none of the vault rooms were active, but instead featured a countdown until they became active, which means that these rooms are not always going to necessarily be available to us, which means you'll have to keep track of which vaults are active to make sure that you get your hands on all that legendary loot and have an advantage against all the other players in your game. But once the timer is up, you'll be able to use a vault key on the door to unlock the vault. Now, you may be wondering on how to get a vault key to open the loot vaults in Apex Legends Season 3. Well, we got to see it in the trailer. There are these brand new loot drones flying around the map, which is also a new way to get extra legendary loot. Now, how these loot drones work is depending on the moment you shoot down the drone will depend on the type of loot you'll get. It alternates colors between common, rare, epic, and legendary, and takes a couple of shots to take down. So what I'd recommend is to coordinate with your teammates to shoot it down when it flashes legendary. That way you can ensure you get the best loot, such as a legendary hop-up or piece of armor, to help you win the game. But be warned, it doesn't stay on legendary for very long, so you'll need to learn the pattern. Now, these loot drones will have a chance of containing a vault key. If you get it, you'll want to rush towards the nearest active vault to open it up and get all the loot. Though remember, enemy players are going to likely camp these out, and once you're in the vault, there's nowhere else to run, so could very easily become a death trap. But you'll have some of the best loot in the game, so it's totally going to be worth it. And because you're going to be going for all this awesome loot, it's also important to be aware that legendary armor has also had some changes. The helmet still remains as fast charge, the knockdown shield will still be self-res, but the legendary chest will now give you fast use, which allows you to heal 50% quicker, which is what the legendary backpack used to have. Personally, I think this is a great change, as it means in a gunfight, you'll be able to tell if your opponent has the ability to heal quickly, rather than it being a surprise when they manage to just use a Phoenix kit in no time at all, and you get absolutely obliterated because of it. And let's be honest, the legendary chest was just not very legendary. It was like the same as a level 3 bit of armor. It just kind of sucked. Well, not suck, but you know what I mean. But another little small update is that in Season 3 of Apex Legends, everyone now automatically has the ability to recharge their shields if they execute an enemy. So, legendary bonuses for all. It also means the backpack in Apex Legends Season 3 has also had a change and now has an effect called Guardian Angel, which means teammates you revive come back with 66% of their health and shields, so it's something you're definitely going to want to make sure that your team's lifeline has to get the most out of it. Along with loot vaults and drones being added in Apex Legends Season 3, a huge addition has got to be the brand new hop-ups, double tap, and anvil rounds. Something to also be aware of is that Skull Piercer for the wingman and longbow has also been removed, along with disruptor rounds for the alternator and RE45, which I think is something everyone wanted, but was a little surprised Skull Piercer was removed. But because World's End is so much more open, it may have made the longbow a little bit too overpowered. First of all, double tap can be equipped to the G7 Scout and the Eva 8 shotgun and allows your gun to fire 2 quick shots with a single trigger press. It still uses 2 ammo, however, it just massively increases your rate of fire. This makes the G7 Scout absolutely shred at those short to medium distances, and I honestly believe makes it the best gun in Apex Legends Season 3 from my current time being able to use it, as it becomes an all-rounder. Then double tap also makes the Eva 8 competitive against the Peacekeeper, and may actually make it a viable option for endgame rather than being a weapon everyone, including myself, just ignores. Then Anvil Rounds is actually a hop-up that the community has been talking about for a while, but thought it was going to be called High Caliber Rounds. It's a legendary hop-up for the R301 and the Flatline, and makes your single fire use 2 rounds of ammo a shot. It reduces your rate of fire, but increases your gun's damage. The R301 actually does 34 damage a bullet with this hop-up, the same as the G7 Scout in Season 3, so it will definitely make it an all-rounder in World's End, especially as I already mentioned the map has a lot more longer lines of sight, so will be a very useful attachment to have. But I'm going to be very interested to see what these brand new Apex Legends Season 3 hop-ups do to the game's meta, and let me know what you think about the removal of Skull Piercer down in the comments below. Apex Legends Season 3, as always at the start of a new season, also brings with it a brand new legend to the game, and Season 3's edition is Crypto. Crypto, like Bloodhound, is a tracker, which means his abilities are designed to help locate enemy legends and squads. Crypto is definitely more of a utility legend, and if used correctly can massively help his squad, though I personally feel that when he will be most effective is in higher ranks in ranked, purely because his abilities are better suited to that slower, more calculated playstyle when a squad is really working together, which you don't always get in non-ranked games. His passive ability is Neuralink, which allows him and his teammates to see what your surveillance drone detects up to 30 meters away. If your drone detects anything, it will appear on your entire squad's HUD. His tactical ability is Aerial Drone, which is his surveillance camera drone that lasts for 40 seconds and has a 200-meter range. It can be destroyed if shot by an opponent and can also hack doors, loot bins, and probably the most useful thing is the fact that he can pick up your teammates' banners with the drone, which I can already see leading to some absolutely epic moments. Crypto's ultimate is then Weapon Drone EMP, which charges up an EMP blast from your drone and deals 50 shield damage to enemies, slows them, and also disables nearby traps. It's got quite a large blast radius and is the perfect opener if you're attacking a team that has set up defenses inside a building, because the EMP also goes through walls. The downside with Crypto is that in order to use his drone, he cannot move, so you'll need to find a good spot to hide and have your teammates defend you whilst you're using it. Otherwise, you're an incredibly easy target for enemy teams. You're pretty much a sitting duck. Apex Legends Season 3 also brings with it a brand new gun, which I know a lot of us have been asking for, and it's also pretty damn powerful if you've got good accuracy and can track your enemies well. It sort of works like an energy sniper rifle and can have an extended energy mag, sight, and sniper stock as its attachments. When you fire the charge rifle, it'll fire a beam which will deal damage the longer you hold it on your opponents, before firing a final blast that deals a pretty big chunk of damage. It has 4 bullets in its mag before you get an extended clip, but the most impressive thing about the weapon for me is the fact that it has very little recoil. So if you can track your opponents well, this could be one of the best long-range weapons in the game, though at close range it's pretty terrible, as it'll be incredibly difficult to land and time the charge shot correctly. But personally, I'm just glad to have a new weapon added into the game and hope it's something they're trying to do a bit more often. One thing I was disappointed with was the fact that gold guns are still just weapons that all have attachments already equipped, and they didn't copy legendary armor and give them a bonus perk that really does make them stand out at endgame and make them really legendary. But those are currently all the major additions to Apex Legends for Season 3. There is of course going to be a new battle pass along with a whole bunch of limited time events, including one at Halloween which we got a sneak peek at during the early Apex Legends Season 3 event, plus those changes to ranked that we saw a couple of weeks ago. But I am pumped for Apex Legends Season 3 to kick off. Make sure to let me know what you're most looking forward to down in the comments below, and subscribe, as I'll be bringing you a video on all the balance changes along with tips on how to take advantage of them tomorrow. Smash that thumbs up button and I'll see you guys next time.